Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Got a new video here, Food Truck Tycoon. I hope everybody's doing well. This is my very first time playing this game. It's been on my Switch since I got my Switch. I never played it. I still don't know why I never played any of these games. I have a game called Lines XL. I played that. But I only ever played Animal Crossing on my Switch. So I'm trying these new games. I have one more, I hope you don't mind. It's called, I don't know, Hospital something? I'm gonna try that one. I like this game. I don't know if any of you play it or played it. I don't know how you feel about it. Let me know. You can discuss it in the comments below. I'm curious. But this was fun. It makes you think and it keeps you on your toes, and I like that. And as usual, like with all games, my biggest hassle is the controls. And I discussed this in my previous videos. It's got nothing to do with age because I started doing this in my 20s and I still don't get it. I cannot get all of the mechanics into my brain so that it makes sense. And it takes a long time for things to smooth out. So I'm sorry. This is my very first time playing. I thought I was in practice mode. Apparently not. There are only so many chapters. I think that's what they're called. Levels. But they do have DLC. I'm sure it's not free. But at the end when I quit, it said to download. There was 2 others with 45 more levels or something. The problem with the game is after you've mastered it, do you want to go back and play it again? And I don't know. I suppose it would be fun to see if you can beat previous scores, to see if you can beat previous time limits. I have no idea. But I did enjoy this and I kind of didn't want to stop playing it. It was that much fun. I stink at it. I kept failing. Because again, what do I press? What button does this? I don't remember. But I did enjoy it. Once I got the hang of it. They asked me to clean the counter and I'm like, well, I'm trying to. I have never played a game where you press down on those toggles. I've never played a game that asks you to do that. And apparently that's what you have to do in Katamari and in this one. You press down on the right toggle to clean. Because I kept pressing, what was it? I don't remember the names, the letters that they give to these buttons, but that was difficult. Now, will I remember to do that next time I play? I don't know. I hope so. But I think this is huge. The artwork is huge. Concept is huge. And I honestly had fun doing this. I'm not a huge fan of on your toes games, especially when it gets too complex. And believe it or not, this is what I would consider to be a somewhat complex game. When you have to do so many things at once, I can't imagine what the upper levels are going to be like. I may end up not liking this game at all because it'll be just way too much for me. Fail, 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 fail. That hurts too. Every time I buy one of those lottery scratch and sniffs, and you take it to that machine and it beeps. They used to say, sorry, you're a loser. Now it says, sorry, you're not a winner or something like that. It's like, ouch. Rub it in. Just rub it in. I already know I'm a loser. You let me know how much of a loser I really am. Yeah, Z, L, and A, and X, and Y, and oh my gosh. That was the only difficulty with the game. Well, no, that's not true. That was one of the difficulties. Like I said, the time limits and trying to get 3 orders done at the same time and remembering which plate gets what. If they order 2 things, you can give them 1 plate at a time. I didn't know that, and oh my gosh, on and on it went. I also have trouble looking at what's being asked, where I need to be to put something on a counter, which customer am I working on, how do I get that pointy finger over them. Oh my gosh, it was difficult. It was really difficult. But eventually, see, ta-da! I finally did it. And this is only like about 5-6 minutes in the video, but this was actually more than like 10, almost 12 minutes in. I cut a lot of this out. I hope you don't mind that I set the video up the way I did. But I wanted to show you how cute it is. I think it's adorable. It was fun. It was a fun game. And again, I would be curious to know how you guys feel about it, if you played it at all. And more importantly, if you ever did play the game and you did enjoy it, do you occasionally go back and play it again? I'm very curious about that. Because replayability is important to me when they ask for so much money for these games. I always get my games on discount. I have never in my life bought a full price game. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. It is possible that 1 or 2 of them I did. But not in this current lifetime, I'll tell you that much. So replayability is important to me, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love Animal Crossing as much as I do, The Sims 4 as much as I do, the city builder games as much as I do, because you will go back again and again and try different things. Well, maybe try different things. I tend to do the same thing over and over and over again in my city builders. And it's very frustrating. I almost feel like that's happening to me with Animal Crossing. Am I just going through the motions here? I don't know. And then I sit back and have to take a long, hard look. Like, this is vital. This is so vital. But for what I'm doing on YouTube, it is. So I don't want to make it sound like my life is revolved around video games, because it's not. But I'll tell you, losing that car has brought this home even more, because I have nowhere to go. I can't just, like I used to, hop in my car and just take off and get some fresh air and clear my head. That used to be one of my most enjoyable things to do. And I think I've mentioned this in previous videos. I am still waking up at times thinking I will get on the computer and look for work. And then I have to stop and say, how in the heck are you going to get there? You can't do that anymore, hon. And it's terrifying. So yes, I do take the video games a little seriously. I do not want or intend to create a second channel that's all commentary. I don't know how much of a fan I am of commentary channels. I do watch them. I have to admit that. But me doing that, I just don't see the purpose. I don't see where it's going to help anyone. Even if I were to write down scripts and sound a little bit more coherent than I normally do. The thinking in my convoluted head is that no one wants to listen to an old white lady. I mean, I'm, again, at the bottom of the barrel in all aspects of life. But if you want some truth thrown at you, if you really want the truth, it's been this way for me since the 80s. So this current surge of white racism and white supremacy, it makes me laugh. It's a joke. these kids running around today spouting that nonsense, they haven't even got a clue because they weren't taught in their schools about our history. Because their parents and the boomers before them were the ones who said, no, we're not going to teach that anymore because it's subjective. Remember that? Remember telling this country that history is subjective? So we're just not going to teach it anymore and now we're paying the price? Yeah, that was you guys, not the kids. Do you remember voting to let corporations become humanized? That wasn't so long ago. Remember that? You voted to allow that to happen. Corporations are now considered human. You remember doing that because you said, okay, go ahead and do that. It wasn't the kids, it was you. Speaking of kids, they're screaming out in the yard. I hope you can't hear that. Well, not my yard, but they're outside screaming. And I'm sorry, I see these tangents. I'm becoming increasingly more bold because I feel like my freedom is slowly, bit by bit, being returned to me. And it always made me angry that I was being stifled by popular opinion because I was never into that ridiculously egotistical narcissist crowd. Look at me. Look at what I can do. Save it for somebody who cares. But I did feel like I was being suppressed, and that made me very angry, and it was frustrating, but I kept my mouth shut, and I just moved ahead. And I feel like a coward as a result. I never... Excuse that noise, too. I did not think it was going to make the actual farting sound, but it did. And me having a infantile sense of humor, I am always going to laugh at that noise. I'm sorry. But again, back to the game. It takes some skill, finger manipulating, and concentration. And those are the three things I enjoy most about the game. I like the way that people just bounce up to the counter. And then I realized, wait a minute, food truck. This is a food truck. Man, I would give anything to be able to do this. My mom's potato salad recipe. And just some soups and sandwiches and salads. I would love to do this. There's a sign. I see it every single day. Off of a main road in a neighborhood. Well, before you get into the neighborhood, it's off of a main road. And it says food truck coming. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I cannot read any of the fine print around it. My eyes are shot, and they always have been. But it just says food truck coming. And I'm like, where, when, and why? It's strange. But I think running a food truck would be fun. Think about all of the people that you would meet on a daily basis. Sure, you'd get some returning customers, hopefully, if your food is, good and genuine. But think of all the people you would meet on a daily basis and get to talk to them and get to know them. And I just think it would be a fun job. Of course, you need money to make money, so that's just another pipe dream of mine. But it would be fun. But I want to credit the artists on this particular game as well. A very good job. It's cute. I'm sorry there isn't much else to say about the game. Not much else to talk about either. How's everybody doing? How you holding up in this absolutely terrifying times? And I especially constantly thinking about all the mothers out there. I cannot imagine. You're already an absolute nervous wreck, especially if you have a firstborn who's under the age of 1. I can't imagine what this is doing to you mentally and physically. How an entire government can be collectively asinine is beyond me. But again, I mentioned this in a previous video. This is nothing new because they're comparing this jerkwad to Carter, who was an even bigger jerkwad. So you can imagine how things were back in the late 70s. It was a despicable time back then. And it was all because of the Democratic Party, who are as racist as the day is long, by the way. Don't forget that, and don't think it isn't true. Because I know for a fact I was taught differently from these young liberals running around today, and I know what the truth is. And you can't tell me it wasn't the truth. My parents lived it, so they know. And the stories they told me and what I learned in school, that's reality. But whatever. Thank you so much for watching this, sticking with me. Please subscribe if you're interested and like the video if you did. Do take good care of yourselves as well. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.